Hey guys, Sketch here, and today I'm going to talk about a few tips that you can use to improve your skill in tackling the Generals challenges. Now the tips I'm going to share with you today are based on my experience playing the Generals challenge in hard mode, but apply just as well in normal and easy difficulty. Now, just a little scrub it up before we get into the video proper. If you find that you like what you're watching, please go ahead and give this video a like. It comes at no cost to yourself and really helps this channel out. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit that bell icon so you get notified when I upload more like this. As you can clearly see from my sub count, every sub is going to help this channel out loads and is greatly appreciated. And with that, let's get into the video. Now there are a few things I could start with other than an important high-level point for me to hit upon, that the Generals Challenge is nothing more than a really complex puzzle. This game came out in 2003 and they didn't try to do any dynamic difficulty or any fancy AI tech that you see in games today. The challenges are to a large extent predictable. Events that take you by surprise are actually scripted, fixed, and easily prepared for, and the AI behavior is understandable and predictable to a large degree. Because of this, when you play through the challenges, consider the tricks that you get tripped up over. Realize that many of them are actually fixed events to a large degree, and just prepare for them accordingly. Well, for example, Stealth General's first sneak attack, which easily ends the game for inexperienced players, always spawns at a fixed time and around certain buildings, and can be easily prepared for in advance. Now if you're watching and you're not already familiar with these terms, I'll do my best to summarize. Macro usually refers to how you manage your overall game strategy, how you manage your army, harvesting units, your larger in-game strategic decisions like whether to make another base or to grow more units instead, things like that. Micro will be how well you maneuver your units to get an advantage in battle. Both are integral to playing real-time strategy, and mastering both will really improve your ability to not only play the challenges, but to really get more fun out of it. Figuring out your overall macro strategy will help you to optimize your base structure, how many workers to get to maximize your economy, how much defense is enough, what kind of defense to set up, what army are you using to attack, and how quickly you can muster it up. Improving your micro will help you to preserve your units, get more kills, and generally get more value out of your units in the field. Many times I've lost units to situations where I knew I could have saved them had I microed my units a little better. Of course, when you're playing the game, your attention is divided between both macro and micro actions, so one of the things that will help both is just getting familiar with hotkeys, finding shortcuts for you to get more meaningful APM done in-game. To help, I've linked a video on some tips on how to improve in general in the card that you should see on the top right. The third tip today is getting familiar with all the units. Well, maybe not the Saboteur, but you get the idea. The Generals Challenge poses a variety of scenarios and feature a whole bunch of AI that aren't necessarily smart. That means units that you normally wouldn't touch in, say, multiplayer become viable. In fact, even perfect for the Generals challenges. For example, the Angry Mob with AK-47s makes the perfect defense to General Link's Paladins, Gatling tanks, and rocket buggies, helped in part by the AI just marching them stupidly forward to your base with no regard to what you put in their way. The microwave tank, as I demonstrated in my other video, which I will link in the description and in the card you see on the top right, are perfect to neutralize the stealth challenges, rebel ambush, and sneak attack. The Generals Challenge is the perfect testing ground for all these odd units which you otherwise would not get the opportunity to appreciate, and I recommend you take the time to try different strategies. And if you find that trying and restarting whenever strategies fail is too tedious, don't forget that it's a single player game and that you can always try saving and reloading at different points to try different things. Number 4. Get GenTool. GenTool is an awesome tool that gives you access to many tweaks and functions. I've added the download link in the description. GenTool is normally touted as a requirement to play 0-hour multiplayer, but I wholeheartedly recommend you to install it even for single player, as it introduces many quality of life improvements which bring 0-hour up to contemporary standards as much as it has. GenTool allows you to adjust your screen resolution, right-click scroll speed, replay settings, and much more. As a side note, GenTool also introduces anti-cheat measures for multiplayer, fixes some in-game bugs, and allows for greater camera height to allow you to see more of the field. GenTool also allows you to remove the frame rate limiter, which causes the game to run a little quicker, and will introduce a slight complication which I will address in a moment. GenTool also features a system clock in the top left to tell you if you've been playing way into the night, which I have ignored all too often. Number 5. Scripted triggers. Now, as I mentioned earlier, many of these events are triggered by in-game time, and if you're like me and have removed the frame rate limit, the in-game time will run a little faster than real time. This is because the Sage engine is frame rate dependent, with one-time speed running at 30 frames per second. So if you were to raise the frame rate, You also raise the speed at which the game itself runs. Using myself as an example, removing the frame rate limiter gives me about 32 frames per second on average, a 6% increase in game speed compared to real-world time. On top of that, the Sage engine is poorly optimized for current generation PCs, not taking advantage of newer innovations like multi-threading and such. So, CPU-intensive activities like pathfinding can cause your frame rate to tank and affect the in-game timer as well. Now to answer this, GenTool features an in-game timer, which is displayed on the top right of the screen by default. This is the in-game clock representing the in-game mission time and can help you very much when playing the challenges, as scripted events trigger according to the in-game time, not real time. I use this timer all the time to judge when it's time to prepare for scripted events. Coming back to stealth challenges sneak attack, it always occurs on hard difficulty at the 6-minute mark, so you want to prepare something in time for that. Laser challenges first particle cannon always goes up at the 5-minute mark, so when you play laser challenge, get ready for that too. Super Weapon General's A10 strike logic locks in at somewhere around the 120 or 125 mark, right around when she deploys the hold the line strategy. There are many more scripted events that I could rattle off, but as you can imagine, there are too many of them to cover in this video, so I'll leave it as an exercise to yourself to discover what events are scripted, when and around what circumstances they happen, and how to counter them. Now, as a side note, I don't know for sure if removing the frame rate limit is considered cheating when I perform my speedruns. As far as I can see, other speedrunners also run at about 32 frames per second and also remove the frame rate limiter, and if my runs were suddenly to become illegal, that would make a whole lot more runs beyond mine illegal, so my best guess is probably not. But let me know what you think. There are mods out there to jack the frame rate up to 60 frames per second, but my sense is you don't really want to do that if you want to have fun or play properly for that matter, as you just wouldn't be able to play properly with everything running at double speed. Remember again, Sage engine is frame rate dependent, so upping the frames means upping the game speed. Anyway, that was my 5 tips on how to improve in the challenges. What do you think about the 0-hour challenges? Did I miss any tips that you felt were really important? Is there something else that you would like me to discuss? Let me know in the comments. Either way, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and more importantly, I hope you learned something from watching this video, and as always, have a nice day. Peace out.